What up, guys? Today I wanted to do Jill's Bond story, so let's just go on with it. Also, I was thinking about it, and I said that I wanted to do the whole skin showcase on the 7th. The K monthly just came out, so that's actually going to take a little bit of a while, so I'll have to wait on that. Whoops. After receiving word that Polly went missing during an investigation, Jill and Miranda find themselves at her last known location, a mansion in the Outer Rim. During their search of a junk-filled storeroom, they discover and solve a puzzle, which reveals a secret tunnel before them. They decide to follow the passage. Eventually, they come upon a laboratory, unlike the mansion's decrepit exterior. The lab is equipped with surprisingly modern equipment. However, oh my! Ah! More screaming. Bodies are strewn about the room, evidence that the experiments conducted here were far from ordinary. Adding to the dread was a researcher lying in the corner, collapsed and muttering. Human life falls into oblivion, throwing the world into turmoil. New life has been created, a cruel distortion of all things sacred. Merciless judges descend from the skies. Do not resist with thy feeble human strength. The end is nigh. God, guide these foolish mortals to their reckoning. The end, these foolish mortals, distortion of all things sacred, throwing the world into turmoil. End is nigh. Do not resist. Merciless judges descend from the skies. Do not resist. God, guide us to our reckoning. The researcher collapses, blood gushing from his mouth. A gaping hole has been torn through the center of his torso, as if something had forced its way out from within. Hey! Are you okay? Miranda shakes the body of the researcher, staining her hands red. It's too late. Oh no! Jill clasps Miranda's hand, which was now trembling. With her other hand, she gently closes the researcher's eyes. Miranda's legs give out, and she falls to her knees. What? What on earth happened here? Jill scans the room in silence. Something in the researcher's hand catches her eye. What's this? As she picks it up, she realizes it's a notebook, drenched in blood. Oh, another notebook Bond story. She opens it carefully. On the first page, in neat handwriting, it reads, Day 1. The analysis of the holy elixir of the judge bestowed by the cult leader is complete. The cult leader was right. The central government hides the truth. Raptures are God's judges, not enemies of mankind. I see no issue with accepting their offer and joining the project. By which I mean I must join it. New humans who defy the will of God shall be purged by those who accept it. Beneath the flames of judgment, the torch of salvation blazes. Project? Jill looks up from the notebook and is once again jolted back to the present by the horrific scene before her. Corpses hang from shattered tubes. The bodies of researchers lie strewn about, torn to pieces and grotesquely disfigured. Jill's head starts to throb as a memory from Raccoon City comes rushing back. How can they be so cruel? Meanwhile, raptures are God's judges, not enemies of mankind? How can anyone say such a thing? Miranda, her eyes still fixed on the notebook, suddenly starts to get a headache as events from the Ark play back in her mind. Oh, this is when it got invaded, right? It has to be. The sky collapses with a deafening bang, and rapture started to pour through. People scream and flee. Meanwhile, Miranda stands frozen in terror. That day, if these people knew what happened in the Ark that day, they wouldn't be saying this. Miranda? Nikes fell, citizens died, and the Raptures, mankind's mortal enemy, trampled all over them, without a single care. Miranda! Huh? Get a hold of yourself. I know it's hard in the face of such nightmarish things, but you've got to keep it together. There's no way of knowing when another trap will trigger, or when another infected creature will jump out at us. You want to save your city, its people, and your missing friend, right? Yes. Then you gotta keep your head clear. Okay, I will. Good. Let's keep looking. We need to figure out what happened here. Jill flips through the notebook. Amid blood-stained page after blood-stained page. Day 10. She finally comes across something legible. Failed. 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 Yet another failure. Clearly, the flesh of mortals is far too limited to accept the holy elixir of the judge. I need a way to raise their tolerance. Through revelation, I was able to refine the holy elixir. At last, I have found a way to raise the subject's tolerance. 5th trial results. Tests were successful. Upon injecting a stray canine with the holy elixir, I observed significant increases to both its physique and regenerative abilities. All preparations are complete. Evil must be purified. It is time to proceed to the next phase. Upon injecting a stray canine with the holy elixir, I observed significant increases to both its physique and regenerative abilities. Those dogs we ran into, they must have been infected. I don't remember very clearly. What do you mean you don't remember? It just happened. I was so scared I didn't get a clear look at them. I wasn't even sure if your shots hit them. If they weren't monsters, but just dogs that were sick, then I didn't think it was right to be shooting them. Instead, I was thinking we should have taken them to get treated. We were in a life or death situation, and that's what you were thinking? You could have been bitten. You would have been infected. And that's assuming they didn't tear you to shreds right then and there. Still, you wouldn't open fire on Polly just because she caught a cold, would you? What? Just because someone's infected with a virus doesn't mean you have to shoot them. Ah, so that's what you were getting at. Miranda, you said you'd never heard of Raccoon City or the T-virus, right? Right? Then I can see why you'd think that. Or maybe I should say, that's the normal way to look at it. At least until you realize what kind of virus it is. Jill explains the T-virus to Miranda, and the catastrophe it brought to Raccoon City. I'd never heard of any of this before. Polly never said a word about it. Remember, always be on alert. I understand, but still, I don't think I could shoot in such a situation. For the record, the shots I fired earlier were warning shots. They were? Yeah. If you can drive the enemy off, you can save yourself the trouble of combat. Fighting isn't always the answer. But when it's time to fight, you need to face it head on. Anyway, don't worry about those dogs. I didn't shoot them. Phew, that's a relief. What I'm wondering about, though, is this holy elixir. More specifically, why were the dogs injected with the neovirus left unintended? I suppose we'll have to keep reading to find the answer. After a brief pause, Jill turns the page. Day 11. Consent forms have been obtained from the believers. All declare with zeal that they will partake in the trial. Some even filled out consent forms for others who were hesitant. Thanks to that, the 6th trial should proceed without issue. They're all smiling, firm in the belief that their wishes are about to come true. Those who are crying must be overcome with emotion. Day 12. 6th trial results. Tests were successful. I detailed my findings on the computer. Day 15. Blood was flying everywhere, and there was so much screaming. The whole thing keeps playing back in my head over and over, the sights, the sounds. The believers gave their consent. They wanted to do these trials. That makes it okay. That makes it all okay. Human life falls into oblivion, throwing the world into turmoil. New life has been created, a cruel distortion of all things sacred. Merciless judges descend from the skies. God, guide these foolish mortals to their reckoning. I can still hear the screams. Something's wrong. This cannot be God's will. The sentence breaks off there. I have a question. Do I also need to take that injection now? Miranda points to a syringe on the floor. A bead of blood clings to the needle tip. It appears to be a syringe used to inject the virus. I signed that form earlier. Come on, Miranda, don't be that dumb. The consent form. I didn't read it carefully. I had no idea I was agreeing to join this. If I had, I would have listened to Query. She told me to always read carefully before you sign anything. Just because you signed doesn't mean you have to go through with it. Oh, really? You don't want to end up like the people here, do you? No. Miranda glances towards the tube. A shiver runs down her spine. It must have been agonizing. I'm sure it was. As she spoke, Jill's eyes went distant. Her mind drifting out of the lab, off to somewhere far away. The flames and burning debris flickered in the plaza beneath the clock tower. After severing her pursuer's arm with an iron gate, Jill breathes a sigh of relief when suddenly a tentacle surges forward and pierces her arm with a barb. And then, snapping back into the present, Jill rubs her right arm. The scar has long since healed. It really is agonizing. Oh? Oh? Instead of replying, Jill flips through the notebook again. Another bloody page. And another one. She flips through several pages, until finally she finds one that's legible. Day 17, probably. My memory is hazy. I think it's been a few days since the 6th trial, but I don't know what's happened in that time. I'm sure that I was going to shut the project down, so I went to see the cult leader, and I don't remember anything past that. It feels like there's something crawling around inside me. My whole body itches. I'm so hungry, so thirsty. Ah, I know why my memory was so hazy. I found an injection mark just below my neck. I can hear the screams. Itchy. I have to stop them. Itchy. The project cannot go on. Itchy. Project Reborn Evil must be shut down. Day? Heart keeps racing. The screams. So tired of the screams. Scared. Test subjects. Set free. Dogs run. Dogs play with people. They look happy. Me play too. Itchy. 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 Oh my god, how many times am I gonna have to say that? Hungry. Body, no, listen. Something coming out of chest. Look tasty. Itchy. Hasty. The researcher's diary ends there. So, that's why infected dogs were roaming around the mansion. Jill closes the diary and immediately notices papers scattered near the computer. Papers bearing the umbrella logo. Jill furrows her brow. We have to stop this, no matter what. We can't allow a repeat of Raccoon City. Miranda looks at the bodies scattered across the lab for a moment. Then, finally speaks, her voice somber. We won't. We're going to put an end to this. For the safety of the Ark and all its citizens. Jill and Miranda think on the past, each recalling a different scene. For one, the peaceful streets of Raccoon City. For the other, the peaceful streets of the Ark. Then, their resolve burns as they both envision the same awful outcome. A city in flames. Okay, let's do this. Jill approaches the computer. Since we've come all this way, I want to find out more before we leave. Especially about the project this person wanted to shut down. Jill touches the monitor, and it turns on immediately. There's a lab log here, and a video comparing the mutations from different doses of the neovirus. A video? Yeah. I'm going to press play. Are you ready? Sure. Alright. Here goes. A video begins to play on the monitor. As Jill and Miranda watch to the end, their resolve becomes unshakable. They are determined to protect what matters most to them. Oh, is that the last one? That has to be the last one. No! Okay, this is also basically like reading the journal. Ada's one was literally the same. I guess we were reading the cult leader's journal, and this time we're reading the researcher dude, but interesting. Okay. I think that's the last time I'll have to say that prayer about, was it the believers or whatever? I don't even remember what I was saying. Anyways, yeah, very interesting. I do really like, one thing about this event though, is the nice contrast of the new cast that we have. We don't really see a lot of the ACPU, like recently. I don't think we have seen them for a bit, but the whole Miranda being there on the day the Raptures broke through the ceiling, that one chapter was that. I don't remember what chapter it was in the campaign. Oh, I just realized that was a spoiler. Whoops, maybe I should have said something, but I mean, it was in the Bond story right there. So I guess there's that. I guess it's not the biggest spoiler because think about it, you don't even know what happened that caused it to open, so you know. But anyways, I do like that contrast that we saw Miranda in that kind of same situation. And I mean, I imagine Jill also experienced that situation in Raccoon City. I'm not that familiar with Resident Evil because I haven't really played that much of the games, and I've only watched like briefly some of them. I watched someone play Village, and I believe I watched someone play Resident Evil 4, the remake, which I think it's different. But anyways, I imagine the parallels are there, and I think that's kind of interesting. And also, I mean, yeah, thinking about it now, D and Ada also kind of have like a parallel there. Okay, so I guess that's why they went with these cast of characters instead of the main three girls like usual, which I do appreciate. I think one thing about this game that is a bit wonky, I guess it's kind of there in all games like these, and also, you know, the quote-unquote harem genre as a whole, because that's what is kind of what this game is. But if you have a really big cast of females like this, or I guess characters in general, right? It's gonna be really hard to let everybody have their own time to shine, because, I mean, some of them are just gonna feel left out regardless. I feel like that's just inevitable. So, trying to give different characters a spotlight like this, what they did with the ACPU is pretty cool, I would say. And hopefully they keep doing stuff like this moving forward, letting the other girls shine. I mean, Julia just got her favorite item, so I guess they didn't forget about her, but like, other than that, when's the last time we saw Julia in like anything, you know what I mean? So, unfortunate. But anywho, I think that's enough rambling for me. Let me know what you guys think about this Jill Bond story, and I will catch you guys later.